Hey everyone, my name is Kajal and today I'm in conversation with Parita. We talk about her journey in industrial and organizational psychology. We also talk about her high school experience into fencing and we end with a conversation about her current experience as an intern at Tesla. So let's get into it. Let's start with an introduction. Tell us a little bit about you.
So, my name is Parita Pravin Gala. I grew up in Grant Road. My schooling was there. I did my bachelor's from Jai Hind slash Mumbai University. And then towards the second year of my bachelor's is when it hit me that, okay, no, I have to be very serious. And that's when I started preparing for GRE and giving all my entrance exams to pursue my master's in industrial and organizational psychology. My father always was a big, like, he is my idol. He motivates me to another levels. He wanted to pursue psychology, but because of circumstances in his when he was younger, might not have supported. So he wanted me always to pursue it. And it feels like I'm living his dream and my dream. So yeah, that is about myself.
Nice. That's a good introduction and a great insight into you. So, both of our fathers know each other, and I have spoken to your father. He speaks very highly of you. And one thing he mentioned was you pursued fencing when you were in school. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So when I was in my eighth standard, we had to change schools. And I was a bit bummed out because of that I didn't want to change my school. And he thought that maybe pushing me towards sports would get my mind off that. So he was the one who spoke to my school teacher and he pushed me. And my school teacher suddenly came up to me and was like, okay, you have to go for fencing training tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. And I was like, wait, what? Where did that come from? And then just took me off. And then my first district match, I remember my father came with me and it was in Nagpur. And he was screaming and yelling and cheering for me. When I lost that match, I stood third in that place. And when I lost it, I was third, and then he was still screaming. And then I was like, Dad, I lost. What are you screaming about? He's like, yeah, but you tried, right? Fencing is something that no girl has tried. And I was the first girl from my school actually to go into fencing. And that was very, for him, it was a very proud moment that, oh, never mind, my girl is still third. So 8th, ninth, 10th February, I went for my national tournament. 11th, I went for Thailand Open Championship. I represented India there.
Nice.
So, and 12th is when I decided, okay, no, I have to focus on studies. So that's when I dropped.
I see. You mentioned that you were the first girl in your school to pursue fencing. How was
Yep.
that experience like? And did you see an increase in girls
Uh,
after you started participating?
yes. So, me being the first girl and me playing tournaments, principal used to make announcements that this week so many people won so many events and all of that, and my name was every time there in a fencing tournament. And because all of the classes could hear it, girls were very inquisitive as to who is this Parita and what is this fencing. And they used to come to meet me and ask me as to how did I train myself and all of that. After me, I think there were 17 more girls who joined the very next year.
That is amazing. As you said, right, a lot of time people don't know what it is. And once they hear it, they're like, okay, what is this? And, they come approach you and you get to bring more people into this sport. So that's really amazing. So now let's talk about psychology. You mentioned your interest in industrial psychology.
Like, it is always said that psychology is a science that cannot be explained. Honestly, I believe that because that is true. We cannot explain as to what is psychology, but I will say that what my interest is in psychology and particularly in industrial and organizational psychology. So when I was pursuing my bachelor's, we had subjects which included abnormal, developmental, and all of those psychology fields, which will drive you towards clinical and counseling. But then when I went in that field and I explored that field, I was like, maybe because you have to give a lot of yourself in that. And the therapies that you do, the people that you meet, you have to be very, very empathetic. And I realized I'm not that person. I sympathize to people very quickly. To put one shoes in their life and to put one shoes in reality is something which is very difficult. When I came to industrial and organizational psychology, I thought this is something that I can explore because not a lot of people are aware about it. In this field, the most important thing that impresses me is how in corporate world or in business also in general, people deal with stress and they are sometimes ignorant towards it, or they live in a denial state. They don't know that that can be toxic to their personal life as well. And I was inquisitive in that area as to, okay, if my work culture, if my work is not something that is satisfying me, how is that affecting my personal life? To some extent it does. People agree, disagree, they have their own opinions, but for me, job satisfaction is something which is very higher up. If you're not satisfied in your job, it will affect your personal life. And that is something that intrigued me the most, and I want to do more research about it. So I was like, okay, let's pursue masters in industrial and organizational psychology. I saw the coursework and I was like, okay, wait, this is something amazing. We have subjects like statistics, wherein we can test hypotheses based on my if I have a belief like, okay, does job satisfaction have any effect on personal happiness? That is a hypothesis that can be transferred into null and alternative. I can do an extensive research on that. And a lot of things can be explored through that process. And that is something that has taught me to put into scientific norms and find out results. And that is the most amazing thing about my field. I can experiment so much.
Nice. That is really good to know. And are you pursuing any internships at the moment?
Yes, I did one in summer, which was back 2019 with Aflac. Right now, I'm interning with Tesla since January 2020.
Nice. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience at Tesla?
Oof, roller coaster. That is one word that comes in my mind. Because actually, it was not supposed to be a roller coaster, but because of the unpredictable situation, it just became one. Uh, so here, when I got recruited here for Jan in October, and I was super excited. I was like, "Wow, Tesla, such a big name, first of
Yeah.
all." And when I got that email from the recruiter, I was like, no, no, this is some fake thing. I double checked like so many times. I'm like, let me be sure this is Tesla. And then, yeah, when I got sure, when I got the offer, and I was like, I'm on like cloud nine. I started my internship, my mentor and my manager. Both of these are like the most strongest people that I have known in the company, because they will not only teach me, but they will always guide me towards, oh, okay, listen, this is where you went wrong. But they will not do it in front of everyone. But they will always teach that to me personally. And they will always be like, this is where you went wrong. This is a feedback that we're giving you. Always, always supporting me. Like if there is anywhere anything that has, like, I have taken some decision, my manager will always back my decision. Like if someone is pointing out to me that, okay, your intern did this, and my manager will be standing by me saying that, okay, yeah, that's this is why she did that. And then he will teach me also that, next time do this, maybe this will avoid situations like controversial, maybe, because the position that I am in, a lot of controversial situations have arisen in the past. And how to tackle that pressure and how to come out successfully is something that he's taught me. The kind of projects that he's given me, with having full trust that, okay, you go and take the ownership over it. I'm not going to micromanage you. You go ahead. I know you're capable of doing that. If you get stuck, I'm here. This is what he's always told me. And it's been amazing. Like,
It's great to hear. Okay, so my last question to you is, if you were to go back and give yourself some advice, what would that be?
to be aware of whatever I'm doing at that point of time. Because many a times I took things so lightly that I actually forgot the impact of that thing in the future. And I realized that time that, okay, maybe I should have done my research back then so much so that I could have taken this decision easily, which I never did. Even like the thing that I told you, that I took arts instead of science for psychology because I didn't know. I should have known. I didn't know it. And this is no one's responsibility to come and tell me. This is my responsibility to have that information, to talk to people who know about this, maybe, and to basic. This is something basic, right? And that is where I thought, okay, maybe if I had that information back then, I would still think about it. Not that I would take science, but I would still think about it. It was pure lack of self-awareness that I had that time. So I think maybe being very aware of what I'm doing is something that I would give myself an advice. And at the same time, not like taking myself too much seriously, that not living at all in my present, because I live my life to the fullest here. Like, after this call also, I'm going to get idli for myself. I'm not even kidding. So yeah, so that it has to be a balance, I think. So yeah, that is one advice that I would give.
Yeah, well, that's really great to hear. And once again, thank you for doing this.